Hello and welcome to another edition of the Galley Gourmet. Now, I guarantee that if you went to Bologna and looked around any restaurant there, you would never ever find Spaghetti Bolognese on the menu. Now the reason for this is that Spaghetti Bolognese was probably invented in the 1950s in an Italian restaurant in England. And so, I mean, for goodness sake, it's got Worcester sauce in it. They don't have Worcester sauce in Bologna. Well, they probably do now, but they didn't back then, okay? You know, really, the chef probably used Worcester sauce because it was the closest he could get to balsamic vinegar. So, today I'm going to show you a recipe which is much more traditional in Bologna. And it's the closest they get to Spaghetti Bolognese. But bear with me, I know you're all thinking, well, I can cook Spaghetti Bolognese anyway, but this uses these and this, okay? As well as the more traditional ingredients. So why don't we make a start? Okay, first of all, let's have a look at some of the ingredients. Obviously we've got some mushrooms, we've got some stock, I've got beef stock and I've got vegetable stock. I've got the aforementioned carrots and the celery. There's onions, garlic, tomato puree, obviously some beef mince. Now you'll notice there's hardly any beef mince at all, and this is fairly traditional. You know, for a start, this is a lot healthier for you, and also it'll save you some money. And you know, the Galley Gourmet likes to be a bit thrifty. There's paprika, there's mixed herbs, spaghetti, obviously, tinned tomatoes, balsamic vinegar, salt, pepper, and olive oil. And don't worry if you haven't caught all that; it'll be written in the description below. And of course, if you're a vegetarian, just do it without the meat. It's still really, really delicious. So we're going to start off by frying some mushrooms in some butter and some garlic, so you get some nice garlic mushrooms. So give the garlic a good bash, and I don't need to mash it up with salt, so we'll just give it a good chop, fairly roughly again. Okay, and I'm going to put some butter in the pan. I think I forgot to mention the butter in the ingredients. Anyway, so there we are, the butter's in the pan, it's nice and warm. I'm going to add the garlic. And don't fry the garlic too long, otherwise it'll become very, very bitter. And then we'll just chuck all the mushrooms in. Give them a good stir around so that they all get coated in the garlic and the butter. They've been frying away nicely for a couple of minutes, and now I'm going to put the lid on and turn the heat down a little bit. Mushrooms always cook an awful lot better if you fry them first and then fry them with the heat on, because then they kind of soak up all the butter or the oil or whatever they're in, and then if you put the lid on, then it kind of lets all those lovely juices out again. The mushrooms are done now, so I'm just going to remove them from the pan with a slotted spoon so that I keep all those lovely buttery garlicky juices and mushroom juices. I'm just going to put them in a bowl and set them aside. As you can see, I've peeled and diced the carrots and I've diced the celery, and try and do it as finely as you can. And we'll put the pan on a fairly high heat and then just add all our carrots and our celery. And give it a good stir. Make sure everything's coated in those nice juices that were left over from the mushrooms. And add a tiny amount of water, just enough to cover the bottom of the pan. And it's probably a good idea at this point just to add a little bit of salt as well. And then pop the lid on. Those have sweated off nicely for about 10 minutes, and I've put them into a little pot to give them a good whiz it into a nice smooth paste. Once it's in a nice smooth paste, again you can just set it aside with the mushrooms. As you can see, I've finely chopped some onions and some garlic, and from now on it's much more like a traditional spaghetti bolognese preparation. So I've put a little bit of oil in a pan which is heating up, and I'm just about to add this. It's sizzling away nicely, and I'm just going to add a little bit of salt, a nice decent grind of pepper. Okay, the onions are ready now, so I'm going to make the traditional kind of tomato ragu kind of sauce to go with it. So I'm going to put in a little bit of paprika and a tin of chopped tomatoes. Give it a good stir around. Now we add a decent glug of balsamic vinegar, and as that cooks off it'll become sweeter and sweeter. And for a more ballsy flavour we're going to add some tomato puree, and a little more water, and bring it to the boil. Now that it's bubbling away nicely, I'm going to add some mixed herbs. And don't be shy with it. People are too shy with herbs and spices. If you want bold flavours, you've got to add lots of stuff. So in goes the vegetable stock, in goes the beef stock, and then just put in your carrot and celery mixture. Okay, so it's been simmering away for about 10 minutes, so now I'm going to add the minced beef. And again, cook it for about another 10 minutes or so. Now I've put the water on for the spaghetti. And with regards to spaghetti, I always think that is about the right amount for one person. So from the knuckle of your thumb around there, and if you squeeze that, that's one person's worth. And I'm making enough for two. So the water's boiling for the spaghetti now, so I'm going to add a little bit of salt and a little glug of olive oil. This stops the spaghetti from sticking together. And now we can add our spaghetti. So you need to cook your spaghetti so it's still quite firm to the touch. And that's about done actually. Yeah, you don't want to overcook it at all. I'm just going to drain that now. Back to the bolognese. I'm now going to add the mushrooms. There we go. And I'm going to add the spaghetti, which remember is only partially cooked, and it will continue cooking in the sauce. You always added the spaghetti to the sauce and not the sauce to the spaghetti. We'll leave that uncovered and we'll let it cook for about another 3 or 4 minutes. And there you have it, Spaghetti Bolognese Italiano. Bene, bene, molto bene, just like a mama used to make, huh?